You know, to be honest with you, failure is not something that I think any of us crave. Oh boy, Abby, are you ready? It's time for your favorite time.
ATV time!
Abby absolutely loves to follow me around when I'm driving the ATV.
The amount of sheer joy she has with following it around just brings me pleasure to see. Yeah, she's definitely broken and in need of some repairs.
In today's video, I'm gonna see if we can try to perfect this design. Gotta turn it around a little bit. I'm gonna have to go much slower going back down because I don't want to tip this cart over. Abby's a little disappointed.
She was very nervous about this whole thing. Meanwhile, Toby looks like a bored supervisor.
So yeah, I built this cart to give my cattle shade. It worked for about a week, then it tipped over. Now we gotta try to refine the design. Watch out for ducks. Hey, hot cows.
I got a surprise for you.
Before I can get this in there though, I gotta move some things around here.
I like to move it.
Or move some things around, I should say.
All right, everybody, I need you to come up the hill with me. I don't want you right here because I gotta open up the gate. Come on, up you go, come on. Come on, Audrey, be the shining example I know you can be. Come on, you're the boss cow. Good job, Audrey. Come on. Annabelle, don't be stubborn. You and Joey Ramone gotta move. Come on. Let's go. Hey, everybody up. Come on. Ariel, I need you to move as well. Come on. Boop, boop, boop. Come on. Everybody go. Includes you, Jimi Hendrix. Come on. Let's hook this around here like this.
It's real loose. Clip this to the fence.
I know, the flies are getting a little out of control up in here, Toby.
We're gonna try to solve that in a minute too.
Ooh, I can tell the cows look excited about this new development. Move it up just a little bit further. I don't want it right on the hill.
I have a way for addressing my problem that I had last time, but I don't want to test my luck too much. You guys can just stay right there. Please don't try to escape.
This will keep it from rolling down the hill. Is one important element.
We need to go back down the hill. Get the ATV out of the way.
Excuse me, dogs.
Now it comes for part 2 of the plan.
First, I gotta close this fence back up. Want the cattle to get out. Now let me show you what I'm gonna do to prevent future tipping. So look at that, Jimi Hendrix is already excited to be able to use this again.
I know part of this was a failure and that it tipped and I had to do all those repairs, but in some ways it was a complete success because it makes the cows so happy, which was my initial goal. So in terms of my plan to prevent future tipping, what a lot of commenters had mentioned and what I also personally had noticed was,
in terms of my stability problems, it wasn't so much that the base was unstable. The problem was, if this structure was on a slope, if you were to push a little bit on this side, you'll notice that it starts to give way a little bit.
So I really just need to prevent it from getting a little bit off the ground, because once it gets a little bit off the ground, that's when it starts to tip. And so for about 15 bucks that I spent at the hardware store, I think I've come up with a pretty simple and elegant way to prevent tipping.
Excuse me, ma'am, we're still not open for business yet.
And it's something that I could do kind of over and over again, so it's not gonna be a problem for daily pasture moves. All I did was I got these little ground anchors, not expensive at all at the hardware store, pretty easy to slip right in.
These cows are getting mighty aggressive here.
I'm just trying to add the anchors and they're already crowding me. Then I just take this piece of chain, slip it through like this, clip one end, clip the other end.
And I got myself a nice brace.
And then if I want to be extra careful and add it a second time, easy enough to do, because I got 2 sets. Get through here, get it nice and tight. And there we go.
And now my hope is, with these 2 anchors in place,
This will keep me from tipping in the future.
clearly the cattle are already very excited about coming back here.
I don't know if you guys saw in the first video I made about this. It took them about 24 hours before they started using this thing.
Today, it took me about 5 minutes to get it out here before they wanted to start using it. Hey, Jimi Hendrix, I'm gonna take that mineral block back in a minute and I'm gonna put it in the cart, okay?
You know, I will admit to you guys that the other day when it tipped, I really did feel like a failure. You know, to be honest with you, failure is not something that I think any of us crave, but facing failure is something I'm gonna have to do over and over and over again as I'm here on the farm. If I wanna try new things, if I wanna improve, being comfortable with screwing up and having things not go exactly to plan is something I'm just gonna have to get used to. And for those of you guys who are dreaming of having your own farms and homesteads, you know, and hoping to do something like this someday, let this be a warning to you that failure is a part of it, and you're going to need to get used to it too. Yeah, you can have all these romanticized visions about life on the farm and what it's like, but not everything's gonna go smoothly.
And having that resilience is gonna be a really, really important part
Of how you end up being successful.
Isn't that right, Abby Dabby Doo? I mean, let's just take you for an example too, right? We've had our ups and downs, but we keep working, we keep trying, we keep getting better. And these days, I'm getting pretty proud of you. You might not have the makings of a poultry dog, but I think you might have the perfect makings of a cattle dog. So that might play into my long-term plans with you. If I had just given up and gotten frustrated with you after a month and sent you to parts unknown, we would have never gotten to learn that about you, you know?
So I'm not sure if you guys have noticed this, but my cattle have been getting swarmed with flies. Like these flies, particularly as we're entering in the heat of summer, just starting to get pretty bad. So I'm doing a couple of things to try to improve the fly situation.
And one of those things is I'm gonna be trying some fly traps in just a really simple way and attach them to here to see if this does anything to help.
This could be like taking a whiz in the ocean, or this could help them. I don't know, but I'm gonna try it out and see what happens over the next couple of weeks. I think I'm gonna actually just stick them up here. They're out of the reach of the cattle, but close to the cattle too at the same time. Don't worry, I didn't fall over there. I just knocked you guys over. Luckily, this thing is built pretty sturdy.
Let it sit up here just like that. And I guess I'll hit the other side.
Notice how confident I am that this thing isn't gonna tip. Like I have my anchor system in place.
All right, that's looking pretty good. Now we'll check back in a future video and see how these things are doing. I guess my biggest concern is that it doesn't hold up all that well in like a wind or rainstorm.
But I don't know, like I said earlier, it's always great to be trying, right?
The Happy Cowmobile is back open for business, everybody. You're welcome to check it out. Kurt, would you care to be our first customer? Oh, I see what Kurt wanted. He was snacking on the tasty treats that I set aside over here. Here you go. You can have a couple. At the very least, this seems to be making for happy dogs. Set this treat bucket right here. See if it attracts them in a little bit.
You know, when I think back to actually a point in my life when I was the most depressed, it was at a time when I was super comfortable. Like I had a good job, I was making a very good living, I had everything I could ever want, financially speaking or, you know, materially speaking, but I was doing everything so safe. I was doing the things that were expected of me, I was doing the things that were guaranteed to produce a good result, but I wasn't taking risks, I wasn't trying anything new, I wasn't pushing my limits, I wasn't making myself uncomfortable. And while there were many other factors that kind of float around that whole time that were making me really unhappy, I genuinely believe that the specific issue of being safe and comfortable and not taking risks and not failing enough was really at the root of my unhappiness. And as I think about my life now, where I'm having a great time, I'm doing stuff, taking risks, doing things new, doing things different, trying things out, having things fail, and I just genuinely enjoy my day-to-day so much. I think so much of that is rooted in getting comfortable with failure.
What do you say, wise Buddha Toby dog? Do you agree with that statement? Abby, are you eating one of the hay cubes? It's okay. I'm not going to discourage you. I don't think it's going to do any harm to you. I'm just surprised you're so into it. God, I love being up here with the cattle. It's so relaxing, you know? For those of you guys wondering about whether or not my experiment with the thinner poly wire versus the rope substance is working, I have to say the answer is no.
Over the last 2 days, I've had 3 breakouts from the adult cows. I don't know what it is. I just don't think Scottish Highlands know how to respect the thinner stuff.
You know, it's like this thicker stuff, they really see, they respect it.
I don't have many issues with it. This thin stuff, I don't know, they just kind of blow right through it. When it comes down to it, a Scottish Highlander that's brushing past any of it, whether it's the rope or the wire, they have such a thick coat of fur that if they're getting hit in the body with it, they're not gonna really care all that much. You really want them to get hit in the face with it. And for whatever reason, they tend to nose up against the rope more frequently, which keeps them respecting the boundary much better. So I guess that's just the way it works. I just can't get over how contented he looks underneath the shade mobile here.